ladies and gentlemen, the faculty members, and dear students, thank you for having me here today to share my perspective on a topic that is not only relevant for the business world, but also essential for our understanding of the changing dynamics in our digital age. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey through the world of digital symphony and explore a fascinating topic of digital business transformation and innovation. So before I delve into the heart of business transformation, let me set the stage with a very prominent, thought-provoking perspective. So what do we see here on the screen? So 90% of the time, if we give a printout to people, they would inadvertently flip it around, stating that the world map was inverted and incorrect. So that's wrong. That's a wrong perspective. Well, not really. I think it's just a different perspective. Maybe somebody standing on the South Pole or down under in Australia looks at the map like that. So we all like to listen to stories, and we read stories along with our children. So imagine a beautiful pond or a lake where we have all these colorful marine life, and one day an army of frogs from the land jumps into the water and start bragging about the tales from the land and telling the stories to all these small fish around, that what do they do on the land when they go out of the water, how they have fun on the trees and the leaves and eat the creeping crawlers around. So a very curious baby fish asked the mother, "Mama, what is water?" So that's such a simple query, but it highlights the fact that sometimes we get so enmeshed in our familiar surroundings that we completely overlook the very elements of the things that define our existence. So with that, my friends, that's the paradox of perspectives, the outside in and the inside out perspective. So like the young fish discovered what water is, digital business transformation defines that it's a continuous process of evolvement, adaptation, and innovation to move forward in the 21st century, where digital business transformation is the need of the hour for any organization to flourish. So what more is digital business transformation? It is very well defined by a quote said by Mr. Walt Disney back in 1930s, that you can't top pigs with pigs. So we all have read the story, and it is still relevant and taught in the schools, about the three little pigs. And it became such a hit, and it won an Academy Award. And what happens when a movie becomes a super hit? Sequels are created. So all the Avengers series and the superhero series and even Doom series in India, it's a global trend. And not necessarily the sequels are as successful as the main movie. And that's what happened. Every other movie or the cartoon that was created then had different kinds of pigs. And that's when, the profits started depleting and people started getting bored, is when Mr. Disney was taking a walk in the park and had an epiphany, where a light bulb moment that you can't top pigs with pigs. And that was the birth of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, followed by Cinderella and the Mickey Mouse and all the famous characters. So when he could imagine that fresh ideas and innovation is so relevant to ensure that the competition doesn't take over, if you have created a successful organization, the use of technology in terms of data, the big data, AI, cloud computing, algorithms, artificial intelligence, all this is so important to ensure that an organization stays agile and is willing to accept the changes that are happening around in terms of the market trends, customer demands, as well as the competition. So it is the agility that ensures the dynamic environment in an organization. It is not just the change that is constant, it is actually accelerating. So what is the necessity? Why do we need digital business transformation? Some of us might know about the frog syndrome, and it's the natural capability of a frog to adapt its body temperature with the surroundings. So if you put a frog in hot water, and as the water starts boiling, it will keep adjusting its body temperature till the point that it doesn't realize the water starts boiling and it's too late to jump out and it dies its own death. And if you put this analogy in today's environment for organizations, there are successful organizations which cannot afford to sit like that as a frog and need to continuously evolve, adopt, and reimagine and reinvent the business models to stay relevant and ahead of the competition. And we have had many examples of, say, Nokia is a famous one, where the mobile phone giant actually completely vanished when the smartphones started coming in, or the camera companies of Kodak and Canon. Even the Blockbuster, which was a giant for rental movies, does not exist anymore in today's world of Netflix. So what are the pillars of ensuring the digital business transformation is successful? I'll give an example of the cockpit of an airplane. So in my maiden flight as a child, I happened to have a glance at the cockpit, and I was amazed to see the gizmos and all the hundreds of buttons in the cockpit. And I was wondering, I hope the pilot doesn't press on a wrong button. And then I learned that it is not the hundreds of buttons that are important, but it's just the 4 or 5 buttons on the console, which is called the T-bar, which actually flies the entire plane. And that's so relevant for any organization to find the key elements that drives the whole machinery. So linking it to the analogy, it's the digital technologies which actually ensures that the engine is running efficiently. It is the data-driven strategies which ensures the navigation throughout. It is the agility to fight any turbulence that happens for any organization with the change in the market trends or competition kicking in. It is the innovation that needs to continue in terms of finding new ideas, new ways of doing business to stay relevant and competent. Last but not the least, it's the customer experience to ensure the comfort to the customer. So when everyone knows that these are the advantages of business transformation and innovation, what are the challenges? So the real challenge is the deep-rooted mental models that we grow up with in terms of, it's fine. Once you're successful, that's the way, that's the right way to move forward. And people don't change to try new things. And it is not the failure, it is the success which is the enemy of innovation. And the major challenge comes is not looking at things with a new perspective or the new window, because why to fix something which is not broken? That's the general attitude in the organizations. So changing the lens and the mindset actually can accelerate the growth and adaptability of any organization. It's not the knowledge which is a challenge, because knowledge exists. Everyone knows what are the right things to do. It's actually the knowing and the doing gap. It's actually not putting the knowledge into action, which is the biggest challenge. It is the culture, it's the environment of an organization that also decides how the people are behaving and how they are treating their customers. Last but not the least, the social loafing, where everyone thinks it's not my job, It's someone else's job. So these are the challenges, and in order to flourish and ensure profitability of any organization, these challenges have to be tackled. I'll give a success story, an example from my real life experience in a corporate world, where a technological marvel was born during the challenging times of COVID. There was a tool created, especially in the used vehicle and equipment market, where price of a used vehicle is the key deciding factor for any buyer. And that's when they collaborated with IIT Delhi in terms of working with algorithms and machine learning. For the last 12 years of data was fed into the system to arrive at the most accurate, nearest price of a used vehicle that can be used. That has been a revolution in the industry. I would like to tell my last story of the day, and this is a true life story, where back in 1969, America was preparing to launch, to go to the moon, and they were preparing to land at the moon, is where the then President, Mr. Kennedy, was walking in the corridors of NASA, where he met a janitor or a helper and generally asked, "How are you doing and what's happening?" And his response was, "I'm helping put the man on the moon." So that simple response highlights the essence of working together as a team and have a shared purpose towards a common goal. And that's so important for success of any task that one takes up. So each of us, no matter whatever role we are playing, can contribute to the larger mission. So let's embrace the digital symphony along with the spirit of innovation, put the passion in our tasks together to create a harmonious future, not just for businesses, but for society as a whole. Thank you.